Hello everyone, my name's Julie Grantham and I'm the School Partnerships Manager for Good to Great Schools Australia, and I'd like to welcome you to our presentation today. It's on Aussie writing. It's a Year 5 Persuasive and the curriculum area is in Civics. The program for the webinar, first of all, I'll introduce myself, I'll introduce GGSA and I'll introduce our developer Sarah Reynolds. Then we'll talk about content design, the pedagogies that we use, the resources, how to access this work, and the good news is, of course, that it's free, and then we'll have time for question and answers. So our presenters today, I'm doing the introduction and the closure, and I've already told you that I'm the manager for school partnerships. Sarah, who will do the majority of the presentation, is our developer for curriculum and is heavily involved in the Aussie writing program and has developed some fantastic resources in English. So if you want to have a look at those resources, they are available online, as I said. Through the course of this, there may be a question and answer that you would like to access. If you need or want a question, have a question to ask, just go to the Q&A tab and you'll get the pop-up to the side and you'll be asked to ask your question. And then Sarah or myself will either answer them as we go, or we may look at them at the end of the session. So first of all, if I talk about Good to Great Schools Australia, GGSA is the, we affectionately refer to it, is a not-for-profit organisation, and we have one goal, and that is to support schools to deliver great curriculum with effective teaching. And we achieve that through three main areas, by developing curriculum that is available, accessible and free, and is always reviewed by teachers so that we keep improving that. We have online professional development that supports the curriculum rollout, building teacher skills and with effective instruction. And we also have a range of improvement tools that we can use with schools who are looking to strengthen the way that they deliver effective teaching in the classroom so that that great curriculum, great teaching is available to all students across Australia. So that in a nutshell is what GGSA is about. It's what we stand for. We're committed to continuing to work in this area, and we have been blessed with a range of developers who have developed some terrific curriculum in that time. And today, Sarah is going to take us through this presentation on civics. So I'll, with that little introduction, Sarah, I'll hand over to you. And today, Aussie writing, Year 5 Persuasive, using civics. So thanks for the overview, Sarah.
Thank you, Julie. Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm a teacher and I work with GGSA. I've been working with Noel Pearson to develop our Year 5 Persuasive Civics unit. I've been working with Noel on the Aussie English for 2 years, which has a range of units that cover writing with the HAS links, so with civics and citizenship, history and business and economics. So this unit is based around the topics of civics and citizenship. It's aimed at Year 5, and the content of this unit is to identify the structure of persuasive texts. So students understand what a persuasive text looks like and how they can build the skills to create their own texts, to write their opinions and draw on personal experiences and new learned knowledge when constructing their own persuasive texts. Our aim for our Aussie writing and our Aussie English is to give students a voice through their writing. So providing content that is relevant and building the understanding and the vocabulary for students so that they can confidently express their opinions and present their work. So the topics that are covered in our Year 5 unit include the Constitution, democracy, the foundational maps of Australia, state and territory parliaments, the federal parliament, citizenship, being a citizen, the High Court and the Voice. Aussie Writing is a program that's built on evidence on how students learn best. It explicitly teaches writing skills with detailed scaffolding and alignment of learning progressions. It explicitly identifies text structures and language features and progresses from sentence construction to paragraphs and full texts. Lessons are sequenced and structured to consolidate and master critical content. So the Aussie Writing program follows the DI model, and we have activating prior knowledge, lesson objectives, I do, we do, you do. So the teacher models in the I do, they joint construct together in the we do, and then there's opportunities to use those skills in independent writing and you do activities. And all lessons finish with a revise, reflect, and connect. So all lessons have a lesson objective and a success criteria. And all lessons start with activating prior knowledge. Activating prior knowledge is an opportunity for the students to link their knowledge, their everyday life, with the content that they are learning about. So the teacher models the learning and provides the content for the students that they're going to be writing about. The we do's are joint construction, joint learning, so the students can build their skills. So we have the content of the HAS, but we also have the application of the writing skills, because this is a writing product. And throughout this lesson, students are provided with opinion statements that they've been working on. So our thought is that the content is in depth and to build that knowledge. So we provide as much information as we can for the students so they can focus on building their writing skills. The You Do tasks are a writing task for students to build their skills over the term. So as the term progresses, independence is given. The writing is heavily around planning, and then also the revision at the end. We see revision as an important key for students learning, and the use of arms and cups. Cups being the punctuation and spelling, where arms is manipulating their writing so that they can improve it. They've got their ideas drafted on their paper, but they haven't finished yet. They need to improve and change and just create that text that says what they want it to say. All of these are supported with the student workbook, as you can see here. So the lessons always finish with a revise and a reflect and a connect, so that students can build their knowledge over the unit. The units that we produce are like a story. So each week is a different topic. There are 9 topics over the unit, and the learning builds with every single week, so that at the end of the unit, students have a story about civics and citizenship with knowledge about the content, but also the vocabulary as well. So the resources come with teaching guides, student workbooks, lesson PowerPoints, assessments with marking guides. Now the assessments cover both writing aspects and the HISI. So all these products, and this one in particular, you can pick it up and take it straight into the classroom, and everything is provided for the teacher. And there are additional resources. So this is an example of the teaching guide, which is scripted. The slides are supported by the teacher's script, and there are additional information for the teacher to draw upon. This is an example of the student workbook, which aligns with the teaching guide and the lesson PowerPoints. So as I said, all lessons are provided with an assessment. So we have progress tests in week 2, 4, 6 and 8. And we have a week of assessments, which are both writing and HAS, and I'll show you that in a moment. The lessons are also include role plays, so that students can actually get up out of their chairs and participate in activities to help consolidate the content knowledge. In week 1, the students participate in a role play on how the Constitution was formed, and in week 5, students participate in role play on how a bill is passed through the House of Representatives. All our lessons come with Apple questions to promote discussions, and they are provided in the teaching guide, but we actually hope that teachers provide their own questions that are suitable for their class and based on their class, and in that way they can differentiate the lessons. So this is an example of an activity, a you-do activity. You can see here that we've got the apple. This is a signal that we're going to have an apple question, and this will, like I said, be in the teaching guide, or the teacher can prepare their own questions based on their particular classroom. So we've developed note-taking in this unit, but heavily supported, because we want the students to be looking at that persuasive text. So we try to provide as much content and support around those note-taking as possible, so that the main focus is on the text. And our assessment overview, which is still currently being developed, is a week of PowerPoint presentations, and we have a student assessment workbook and a teaching guide with the answers, and each day focuses on a different area. So for example, if you were to pick and choose different weeks or topics, then you could pick and choose the assessment that you apply to that as well. And task 4 and task 5 is the writing, the planning and the writing, and the editing, because we think editing is really important. So that's it for me. Thank you, Julie.
So I don't know, Vincent or Katrina, if you've got any questions yet. The big thing that everyone needs to know, of course, is that Aussie writing is free. If you sign up, or if you look at GGSA, the website, there's opportunities for membership for you to actually get started, whether you can sign up as an individual teacher, or if you wanted to sign up as a whole school, so all teachers have access to this information. It is possible then that, you know, it can be a school-wide whole program. But I think what I can see when Sarah presents her information is that it's a very comprehensive and a very detailed presentation. And what you get when you use this sort of presentation is, of course, that consistency across your year level. And depending on the size of your school, teachers are picking up a whole unit of work that gives them the pedagogy, it gives them the content, it gives them the assessment, but also gives them the consistency in delivery, so that we know that students are getting the same message. For me, if a teacher's away, a substitute teacher can come in and continue to deliver that same lesson. So I think, you know, the process and the construction of these units is very, very comprehensive, and enables so many schools to have advantages in order to deliver this sort of work. And of course, it's immersed in the Australian curriculum. It reflects, I think, Sarah, can you confirm that it's consistent with the version 9?
Yes, it
is.
Yes,
it's consistent with version 9. So, you know, that sort of consistency and currency for teachers is something that's so readily available and easy to access. Sarah, if you go to the next screen, it's not only, of course, Aussie writing that we have available, but this is, you can see that there's a whole lot of other products and curriculum documents that are available to you to access as you go through the GGSA website. So it's not just writing, it's science, it's mathematics, spelling mastery. So there's so many parts of the curriculum that have been developed and presented for schools, either as individual teachers or as whole schools. Keep going, Sarah. Okay, so this one, when you get onto the website, you would be able to find that Aussie writing, the persuasive for using civics as its base, is there available. And to click on a lesson, being a citizen, lesson 32 is there to the left-hand side. And what comes up is that presentation that Sarah alluded to for that particular lesson. So, you know, when we do this, one of the things that's so easy is just the access for teachers. You can see there that the access is just a simple click of a button, and they have the complete presentation for that content, but also then the assessment that follows with that. So when you see that, I think you'll agree, if you have a chance to go through and just have a look at one unit, you'll soon see the comprehensive nature of the presentation of the online curriculum. It also gives you then that lead in to go and look at other areas. So I'm not sure if you have any questions, Katrina or Vincent. There are no questions in the chat box. Being no questions, Sarah, one of the things that when you're developing curriculum, obviously, it doesn't all just, it's a lot of it, this is available, the majority of it is available. I understand the voice, though, will not be available until after the referendum. So Sarah, I know that the work that's available, it's online, weeks 1 to 7, are already on the website. The teaching guides are there, the workbooks there, the assessment lessons are there. But that last topic of the voice, Sarah, is not yet available until after the referendum, and then of course will need to be completed depending on the outcome of that.
Yes, week 8, which is about the High Court, and week 9, which is the voice, they'll be up after the 14th of October. So they're in development at the moment. Yeah. I have some examples, Julie, if you would like me to have a look at some PowerPoints.
So Katrina and Vincent, Katrina is complimenting you, Sarah, on the work that you've done. You know, I think just, yeah, I agree. It's really superb work. Vincent has said also the same thing, but if you just want to have a look at one lesson very quickly, Sarah.
Okay. So this is lesson 2, and it's addressing the Australian Constitution. In this lesson, we do our recite, recall and apply, and we have our lesson objective and our success criteria and activating prior knowledge. We discuss the purpose of the text, the audience that we are writing for, and we also have structure, the structure of our text. This particular lesson looks at a song called the Australian Constitution, which was written, and there's a film clip to go along with that. And in this lesson, and over the week of week 2, students create a song showing their knowledge and understanding of the Australian Constitution. Each of the weeks comes with a explicit text so that students can link this with the content that they've learnt, but also it gives an example of a persuasive text. The text is read by the teacher and then decoded with the students, and the vocabulary discussed, so that by the end of the lesson, all students in the classroom can read and understand the text that has been provided. So the teacher goes through each of these, reading and developing the vocabulary for students. The lessons come with check for understandings as well, so the teacher can stop, take a snapshot of actually who is on board with the understanding and reteach if they need to. And this just is a quick check, where the apple is more of an in-depth check for understanding and a discussion prompt. The lessons over a period of time develop the students' ability to consider their position in an argument, in a discussion topic, and this is structured with I do and we do, so that the students are working in conjunction with the teacher. And finally, did I have here? There are images in the content that help support students' learning and understanding as well. So students build that content, they build the vocabulary, and then they use that in the I do, we do, you do to construct their text. Okay. Thank you, Julie.
Okay, so I don't know if there's anything more left to say, other than to say, Sarah, thank you for your work and for helping teachers to get this work underway. I think when people look at the quality of what is there, what's been developed and how to present it, I think teachers appreciate that the impact on the time that they need to, you know, start from scratch is lessened. And even though, as you say, we always have to come back and we have to look at how to differentiate for our own students. But to see that sort of work as the basis, I think teachers, you know, really would recognise that this is so much of an assistance and an aid to actually working through the topics. I find it interesting that you use the civics, the learning area, you know, encompassing civics as part of the persuasive writing. So, you know, it's a way to, you know, consolidate the curriculum, isn't it?
Well, teachers don't have a lot of time, so by bringing in that, you know, doubling up on content and learning is important because of our restricted timetable, but also the topics are really relevant. You know, we're writing persuasive text about things that really matter, like why do we need to be civic participants in our democracy? You know, what is the democracy, but why do we need to be part of that? And I think that they're important topics, relevant topics for today, and just giving the students the opportunity to find their voice. Like it's new, and obviously as they go through high school and become adults, that will develop, but this is a starting point for those topics that really matter.
Great. Okay, Katrina and Vincent, thank you for your attendance. I hope you go online and have a look at all the hard work that Sarah's done, and you can see the value and the work that this can bring to your work and to your school. So without no further questions, so Vincent's going to go online. Thank you, both of you, and thank you, Sarah, for your work and for putting together the presentation for today.
Thank you very
much.
Have a great
day, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.